All right, in the next few minutes, we're going to crack the code on what I call the productivity equation. We're going to look at how to finally shift from feeling constantly busy to being genuinely effective, so you can end your day feeling a sense of real accomplishment. Let's dive in. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those days, you're exhausted, you've been running around, answering emails, jumping between meetings, but at the end of it all, you just look back and think, what did I actually get done today? Yeah, that feeling, that's exactly what we're going to tackle head on. And this quote, it really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? Success isn't about how many hours you clock in. It's about how effectively you use them. This is a huge mindset shift. We're talking about moving away from valuing just being busy and toward valuing actual results. It's about making every minute an investment, not just, time spent. So here's our game plan. This is how we're going to build your new productivity system. First, we'll figure out what's going wrong with the busy trap. Then we'll dive into a three-part solution: strategy, execution, and defense. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a way to make sure you're getting better and better week after week. Okay, first things first. We have to understand the real problem. I call it the busy trap. You know exactly what this is. It's that endless cycle of being active but not actually making any real progress. So let's just make sure we're on the same page. When I say time management, this is what I mean. It's the ability to plan, prioritize, and control how you spend your time to get the best results with the least wasted effort. And the most important thing to remember, this is a skill. It's not some personality trait you're born with. It's something anyone can learn. And this really gets to the core of it all. It's about focusing on results, not just activity. Think about it. You can spend 3 hours clearing out your inbox. That's activity. Or you could spend one super focused hour that makes a massive dent in a big project. That's a result. We're aiming to get off that hamster wheel of just feeling busy and start creating real, tangible outcomes. All right, we've diagnosed the problem. Now, let's get into the solution. And we're going to start with strategy, which is really all about deciding what to do in the first place. And our first tool for this is a classic for a reason. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, it looks simple, but trust me, this is an incredibly powerful way to cut through all the noise on your to-do list and zero in on what actually matters. Okay, so this matrix breaks everything down into 4 boxes. Top left, urgent and important. These are your fires, your real deadlines. You have to do these immediately. Bottom left, urgent but not important. These are a lot of interruptions, some meetings, the stuff you should try to delegate. Then bottom right, not urgent and not important. These are the time wasters, the distractions. You just eliminate them. But now we get to the magic quadrant. And that's the top right, important but not urgent. This right here is your secret weapon. This is where the real magic happens. We're talking about planning, learning, building relationships, all the stuff that fuels long-term growth and actually prevents future crises. Honestly, most people live in the other 3 boxes and totally neglect this one. But this is your growth zone. So how do you actually make sure you spend time in that growth zone? Simple. You plan for it. The night before, just take 5 minutes. Write down the 3 to 5 most important tasks for the next day. Then, and this is key, actually block out time on your calendar for them. Try to schedule them for when you have the most energy. It's a tiny habit, but it's a game changer for keeping the day's chaos from taking over. Okay, so that's strategy. You know what to do. Now let's talk about the next piece of the puzzle, execution. This is all about how to do the work effectively, and it comes down to mastering deep focus. And a really fantastic tool for this is the Pomodoro technique. You've probably heard of it. The idea is simple. You work in a super focused sprint, no interruptions, for maybe 25 or 50 minutes. Then you take a short break. That's it. This cycle is amazing because it trains your brain to concentrate really intensely, but it also prevents burnout by building rest right into your day. And a huge part of being able to focus like that is finally giving up on the myth of multitasking. I mean, just look at the difference here. When you single task, you get higher quality work, you're more efficient, and you can achieve that deep focus state. But when you multitask, your quality drops, you're actually less efficient, and your focus is shallow. The science is clear on this. Do one thing at a time, period. So, you've got your strategy, you've got your execution plan. But none of it matters if your day is constantly getting hijacked. So this next part is all about defense. It's about building a system to protect your time and your focus from all those constant demands. And honestly, your most powerful weapon here is the word no. And look, this isn't about being rude or unhelpful. It's about being strategic. Because think about it. Every time you say yes to something, you are automatically saying no to something else, usually whatever you had planned. So before you commit, just take a second and ask, does this actually align with my most important goals? And here are two other really powerful ways to free up your focus: automation and delegation. If there's routine work you do, find a tool to automate it, things like scheduling reminders or meetings. And if there's a task that someone else can do just as well or even better, delegate it. Every task you automate or delegate frees up your mental bandwidth for the high-impact stuff that only you can do. And then there are the productivity killers. And let's just be honest with ourselves. We all have them. That aimless social media scroll, sitting through yet another meeting that absolutely could have been an email, or procrastination, putting off that one big, important task. The first step to beating these things is just to recognize them when they happen. Okay, last section. How do we make all of this stick? Because this isn't a one-time fix. The goal here is to create what's called an improvement flywheel, a system that gets better and stronger every single week. So what's the engine that drives this flywheel? It's simple. Reflection. You absolutely cannot improve what you don't measure. Just taking a few minutes each week to look back is the single best way to see what's working, see what's not, and make smart little changes for the next week. And here's a super simple, super powerful way to do it. It's your weekly review. Step 1, just look at what you accomplished. Step 2, ask yourself honestly, did I focus on high-impact stuff? And step 3, the most important question, what can I do just a little bit better next week? That's it. That's the feedback loop that leads to real continuous growth. So, I want to leave you with this one final question. Don't try to change everything all at once. That never works. Just based on everything we've talked about, what is the one thing you will stop doing this week to start reclaiming your time? Just one thing. Think about it. Because that's where real change always begins.